Patrice, Vice Mayor Patrice Griffin, you really highlighted, the principle that, a lot of our community engagement has already started. I can give you hundreds of emails, Facebook inboxes, text messages, and obviously tonight, we had a very long meeting of very detailed and descriptive ask that I think we can put down as going towards the goal of how we, fix our community. I say that to say, to my colleagues specifically, all of you have to have a clear understanding of where we're at. What are the next steps? I personally ask the community to continue to engage. I personally ask the community to continually protest and hold this agenda up. As it pertains to defunding, I brought that up years ago. And when it was brought up, we didn't have the same type of energy. So, as of late, we've gotten a question, and I know we've heard it from individuals in the community who asked specifically, do we support it? I support defunding. I support dismantling. I support anything that's going to be the right path. And I think where we're at right now is the accountability piece of ensuring that we're going to, take these measures serious. And I'm talking to my colleagues. This is the importance of this is imperative. Our next generation shouldn't have to deal with the same conversation. And reality is, I want to prepare all of you in regards to where we have to go mentally to understand where we're going. So reality is, right now we talk about roads, we talk about other, services that we provide to the community. 10 years, we talk about these same services. And reality is, it's the nature of the beast right now. It's the culture of our community, where we'll probably still have to have these conversations in 10 years. So don't get tired of the conversation. Don't feel like we're beating a dead horse over and over again, because reality is, these are lived experiences. And so mentally prepare yourself. I know this weekend we have Juneteenth. There will be a lot of opportunities to engage with the community. Friday, there will be an opportunity to actually start Black Lives Matter. I know there's been a lot of ask in the community in regards to getting that painted on one of our streets. That process is in motion. Saturday, we have another protest going on from Western Michigan to our downtown with the push of voting. There are a lot of individuals organizing around that. Stephen Jackson and Poe, who are close friends to Floyd, who passed away, they'll probably be here. There's things in motion to bring them here in July. In August, Reverend Al Sharpton is organizing a Million Man March, and I'm sure that's going to create a lot of energy here. So the timeline is inevitable right now. And I think it's very important that we, act fast, move swift. We have the resources in a lot of these instances. If we have to reallocate resources, I think that's something we have to discuss. And if you're afraid of any of this conversation, then I'm not sure that we should be at the table, because all of it should be on the table, from dismantling to adding 800 new officers, whatever we deem necessary. We are the ones responsible for what's happening in our community. At the moment that we took our oath, we are responsible. So I don't run from that. When the community says, Jim or Chief Thomas or anybody else, they saying Eric Cunningham, and I accept that. But reality is, I can't make you guys do anything. So I need you. And mine is a lived experience. I've been through it. I got a felony. I had an officer, talk down to me in my lowest moment. I had a FBI agent who lied, who omitted information specifically. He knew what he's doing. I didn't know what he's doing. But looking back on it, I understand exactly why he did what he did. And so, you get a felony. I had 2 years. I put in almost 2,000 applications. I had three interviews with close to 2,000 applications. 2 of those interviews is because I knew the person who pulled my application, and that's with a bachelor's degree. So these type of instances destroy lives. That's a fact. I'm not, you know, we often don't feel the nature of what we're dealing with because it was somebody I've never met or somebody that isn't close to me. But reality is, you know, this is what we're dealing with, and I'm sorry, but today is day one. And so what I will also want to speak to is make it plain. We're doing this independent investigation. I expect for it to move relatively swiftly as best as possible. And behind that, you know, the city is going to come to us with recommendations based upon their findings, whether that's a recommendation that we just explain what happened or a recommendation that we find fault and we want to do X, Y, and Z. And my comment to you is, it has been times in the past where things have been recommended to the city commission that I do not feel. I feel like the punitive piece did not match the offense. And so, you know, these are the times where we have to set precedents. And it ain't about, you know, what all took place in history and where we were yesterday. Reality is we got to work from right now. And what that means is if we have to set precedent right now, then that's what we have to do. And that's all encompassing. It was mentioned by, you know, individuals who called in regards to, you know, looking into the contracts that we have in place and seeing what we can and what we can't do. All of that needs to be explored. There's not one stone that shouldn't be turned over. And that's not just KDPS. That's across the board within the city administration. That's across the board in every single systematic system that moves within the city of Kalamazoo, within the United States. And I get it. You know, once again, there are some agitators in our community and we have this perception of what that means, things of that nature. But then we have the state, the entire, you know, a lot of individuals in our state, in the United States and across the world are standing up in regards to one issue. And so my expectation is that, you know, I hold all of you to a different standard now. And that's just reality. That's where I've landed with a lot of this. And I'm thankful now to even express myself to you guys because I've had to have conversations over here and conversations over there. And we haven't had a chance to just all get together and have this conversation. And so, yeah, I love you. It's going to be hard times moving forward. And I'm going to hold you to the fire. It's going to feel uncomfortable. God bless his soul. My god brother owns a business downtown. He said, business talk don't sound like family talk. And that's where we at right now. And I'm going to question some of you guys' integrity. And to our officers, you know, I already explained to Chief Thomas and all of her assistant chiefs and a few others that were in the room. Talk to the rest of your team. Let them know, you know, this isn't to hurt, harm, or danger you. I explained to them, you've been firm, fair, and consistent. The piece the disconnect is the fair piece. What we deem is fair and what you deem is fair, it's not on the same plane. And so, yeah, when it pertains to whether we should use tear gas or not, if the community says that's what we need or that's where we need to go, if we don't take that serious, if we don't, you know, move that forward in some way, shape, or form, or have a clear understanding of what it means, then we're doing our community a disjustice. And I'll be the first one to say, vote me out. Vote the rest of you out. If we got to turn it over every single year until we figure it out, that's the necessity that we have to act on. And so I ask all of you to, you know, not get discouraged, to trust one another, as Commissioner Matt Milzarek mentioned, because that's what it's going to take to move this agenda forward. I truly appreciate, I want to acknowledge my colleague, Mayor, Vice Mayor Patrice Griffin. It's a unique place to be in this space, and her leadership has encouraged me. I can't put it into words right now, but I just want to at least say that I appreciate you. Not only you hear it from behind the scenes, but I want to say it in front of individuals right now. Because the reality is, it's only two of us right now who have the lived experience. And so we can, in different scenarios, it might be, it's just a heavy burden to bear. And reality is we ready for it. And I'm so excited to serve with you from that standpoint. So I appreciate you. And to the rest of the team, we gonna do this together. I appreciate the support that you've given me over the last couple of weeks. I wish Aaron Knott was here. I do want to highlight, the legislative piece that was moved forward. It was monumental across the United States, and it was a long time coming. It's something that is similar in nature in what we're dealing with right now, and the fact that it's unacceptable. It shouldn't even been questioned, but we can't cry over spilled milk. We got to do the best we can with what we have right now.